So where are you from?
So I'm from Michigan, but I live in Salt Lake City,
Hmm.
Utah. The mountains
Okay.
drew me out here. So
Yeah.
I'm big into the outdoor lifestyle, so it's a perfect place for that.
Hmm. And you said you're originally from Michigan?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Originally from
Yeah,
Michigan, lived in Chicago for a bit. Um, and then my job went remote, so moved out here and I've
nice.
been loving it.
Okay, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so your job drew you into Salt Lake City specifically?
So my job drew me to Chicago and then was living
Gotcha.
in the city and just I don't know, I'm from
Hmm.
a small town. So um yeah, the whole city vibe. It was sweet. Don't get me wrong. I was
Hmm.
young. I was like
Yeah.
early 20s and stuff, but yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know. It like there's something missing about it. So then once like
I
COVID
can
hit
completely
and all
get
that
that.
stuff, yeah, my job went remote, and so I'm like, I think this
Hmm.
is a perfect time for me to just ship it out west and just see if I like it. And I've been loving it so far. So it's cool.
Nice, dude. That's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah,
You're kind of a little bit all over the place. I'm over in South Carolina, so
okay.
pretty far away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Even doing a lot of the social media stuff. I've been meeting people just like
Hmm.
all over the world, even like it's crazy.
Yeah. One of the things I talked about with another guest I had on that's a good friend of mine that we played pickleball together.
Cool.
Um, and he has about like any platform he's on has about 400,000 subscribers, and he was just saying like it's so weird meeting people from all over the world and making those connections that quite literally 20, 30 years ago would have been impossible every single time. It's crazy how social media has changed that.
Yeah, for sure. It is weird, right? Because yeah, it's weird how you just like start fitting into these communities too. And like the
Hmm.
communities, like, yes, they're like tight knit communities, but yeah, it's
Hmm.
like they're across the world. So it's wild.
Hmm.
The internet is a crazy
Yeah.
is a crazy place. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy
No,
growing up with it, like
thank you
this.
for the internet. So
Yeah,
how old are
yeah.
you?
I'm 26. 26.
Okay, we're the same age.
Oh, let's go. Okay, cool.
Dope. I turned 26, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Okay.
So,
So I'm a little bit
yeah.
older than you. I turned 27 in December. So
Okay,
coming up here
nice.
shortly. Yeah.
How are you feeling about entering I guess, your late 20s now? Are you vibing
Dude,
with it?
it's crazy. Like it's weird because I still feel like 22. Like I don't feel
Sure.
any older. I like to say I'm a kid at heart. Like I'm always just like messing around, just goofing around and like
Hmm.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Hmm.
I think things are really starting to kick me in the butt a little bit of just like, all right, we gotta kind of get some stuff going if we want to take some risks while we can, because I'm
Hmm.
one of those people like you look ahead and the responsibilities, the liabilities, all that stuff is just going to continue to build. So now's the time to do it.
Absolutely.
And
Hmm.
so I feel like this year, last year has been like that realization of me just like, all right, I should like start going all in on a lot of this stuff. So that was partially why I
I've
created
come to the
content
same
too.
spot. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I have so many questions about your content. I really enjoy I don't know if you're just still doing like the day 121 or whatever anymore, but I have so
Yeah,
many questions
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess technically the first question I have like with Instagram or social media is in your Instagram bio, you have my 5 to 9 hustle after my 9 to 5. So
Yeah.
kind of tell me the story of how like this hustle evolved into what it is today and where that originates from and why it's kind of in part of your channel.
Yeah, 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 for sure. So I feel like ever since I've been a little kid, like I've always loved just like selling things or like starting little side businesses, like the classic one, like selling lemonade or like trying to sell like
Yeah.
rocks to like random people.
Hmm.
In high school, I like ran like an iPhone repair business. We would like fix computers too. It was like me and my buddy. So I've always just like loved these small side projects outside of maybe a main job, or like if I'm in school, it's outside of school and doing stuff like that. And so I think there's a period where I graduated college, I was working full time. I was
Hmm.
super dedicated to my full time role. And like 2 years into being dedicated to it, I was like, you know what? I kind of miss like all these like side things. Like I want to
Yeah.
try to make some money outside of my 9 to 5 and really just like see if it'll work out, like see if it turns into anything. So about 2 years ago, I was like, all right, I'm gonna start like I started doing like marketing for a lot of for like some family friends, and then started like expanding it. And with my background and like because I'm a software engineer by day, so
Yeah.
I just would like spin up just random projects, random like side things with either friends or by myself.
Hmm.
And it kind of turned into this thing where I was like, all right, well, I'm working my 9 to 5. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still committed to it. Like, I'm still committed to growing in that job. But I think there's
Hmm.
just so much time outside of your 9 to 5 that if you're curious or if you're, I think curious is honestly the right word. If you're just curious about things, you can start exploring them and learning outside
Yeah.
of it. And then if you can make money from it, like that's ideal. It's just
Might as
another source
well.
of income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what it kind of turned into. I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff. Like I have so much going on. Why don't I
Hmm.
just start creating content about it? Like I'm sure other people are in a similar spot where they're doing all these cool things, but they're just doing it
Hmm.
behind the scenes. And like,
Sure.
I think there's pros and cons to both, right? It's like the whole like build in public trend that's going on.
Hmm.
There's advantages, the disadvantages of showing what you're doing. But for me, I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't know. I like helping people. I like being transparent. So might as well just like share it and just see what happens.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I find difficult about social media is that like you spend all this day at your 9 to 5, and then you get this little chunk of the day at the end of the day to really work on that kind of stuff. I think once you find that balance and figure out what works for you, I think that's kind of when it all starts to take off and it all starts to kind of flow together.
Hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I'm really glad you started. It seems like your channel's getting some momentum, and I'm excited to see what it'll do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's totally like what you said. I think there's a huge learning curve when you start, right? Like you're
Hmm.
trying to even find the time. Like my biggest thing to not starting was like there's no way I'll have time to like make a video every day. And so I remember like I actually created 10 videos ahead of time so that like
Hmm.
if I and like I would continue to make a video every day, but like I had 10 scheduled so that like
Yeah.
in case a trip came up or like things like that, I had this like
Sure.
at least mental safety net of like, okay, I have a
Hmm.
video scheduled, like it's I don't have to worry about like not posting today. Um
Hmm.
and then like I remember like 2 weeks in, I like went on a trip immediately. It was like as soon as I started the 100 day challenge and just burned through all the videos. And then like after that, which I think is the right way to do it, I started creating a video like pretty much on the day of, or at least like maybe the day
Hmm.
prior. Um, and I just think there's so many pros to that, like metrics and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
things just stay a lot more fresh. But yeah, it's finding the time is like it was the scariest part for me. And then you get
Sure.
in the rhythm of it and it gets better and better. So
Hmm. Yeah, it's strange for me too because my current job, I would get there at 8 and I leave at 6:15, and I also have a fiance I want to see every day, and I also have family and stuff. It's like it can be very difficult to find that time
for sure.
to do that, but it's such a rewarding thing once you do it.
Yeah.
Uh, Talk to me about that photo wall that you have. I don't know if it's actually the other
Oh
way
yeah.
around the camera, but it's pretty dope
Yeah.
and like cozy. Like where'd you like what's up with that?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I do a lot of photography and videography out like it's always just been a hobby of mine.
Hmm.
And when I like first moved out of college and like had my first nice apartment, I'm like I
Hmm.
want like a really creative space where I love sitting at my desk. I like feel inspired by like the things above me. There's like I have like a couple different messages in there that like remind me to be
Hmm.
grateful or like it's just I mean you're living another day, like you should be grateful for that in general. And so
Yeah.
I had like all those reminders up there mixed with just like cool trips I've done, some like family trips and stuff. And
Hmm.
yeah, it all just kind of revolves around creating like a really inspiring spot to work. Like I love sitting at my desk. I'm just like one of those people I could be
Yeah.
on my computer like literally all day, which is probably a bad
I
thing. But
think I saw a video about that.
yeah. Just
Yeah.
like constantly doing stuff. So yeah, it kind of just came down to that, just creating like a cozy spot where I felt inspired and it wasn't like dull. Like if I was sitting there just
Hmm.
staring at a white wall, it might be a little less inspiring than this. So
For sure.
yeah.
Yeah. For instance, like the wall behind me.
Well, at least you have like
Yeah.
windows and stuff. Like
That's
I have a
true.
couple
That's
windows in my
true.
room, so having natural
Yeah.
light's like pretty much the same
Hmm.
thing.
Are you a big traveler?
Yeah, I'd say so. I try to get out and about as much as I can. You know, like I think
Hmm.
um I'm very fortunate like with my current 9 to 5 where they're pretty flexible on like work life balance. So they give me a good
Nice.
amount of like time off and stuff. So I'm able
Hmm.
to either travel with friends or family and just yeah,
Hmm.
experience new stuff, which is always good, I think.
What's your favorite place you've ever been?
Um, that's a good question.
I
So
know it's
I
a tough one
think,
too.
yeah. So I did the Inca Trail in Peru and like went
I'm
hiked
so
all the way to,
jealous.
yeah, Machu Picchu with two of my buddies, and it was like it was the ultimate trip, right? There's like it was like a four
Hmm.
day hike. I love like backpacking, hiking, camping, all that stuff. So it was a great
Hmm.
mixture of all that. All the sites were like insane. I think like the two friends that I went with, they're both like very positive, optimistic guys. So like as soon as things went downhill, like it was raining one day, they were just like, whatever, like we got ponchos, let's
Yeah.
just like hike through it and stuff. So it was just all
Sure.
around like a very like happy, like exciting trip. And
Hmm.
um yeah, I mean, always seeing new cultures is good. Like traveling inside the US is great, but I think there's something
Hmm.
to just like seeing, like you're so uncomfortable in some of these situations because the language
100%.
barrier or just like everyone's staring at you, that type of thing. Like it's always good to step out in that way. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the I've also been very blessed to get the chance to travel a good bit. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with like just finding different cultures and then learning to be immersed in those. There's something really special about it. And I think whenever you do travel to different countries, there's definitely pieces of that that come back with you and you can kind of portray it to other people, and especially
yeah.
like in your content. Like for instance, one of the things I noticed just kind of scrolling through a lot of your reels was on day 15, which I guess was back in what, April of this year?
Yeah. That was a while
Yeah.
ago now, yeah.
Yeah. You titled a video Problems, Go on a Hike. Um and I agree there's a lot of complex problems I think can at least fairly easily be worked out just by going outside, and like the whole thing like go touch grass, like that really
Yeah.
does make a difference. So kind of tell me about how you incorporate the kind of outdoor life, hiking, all that kind of stuff. How do you incorporate that into your content and life?
Yeah, for sure. I think being outside for me is like super important for my mental psyche. I'm a
Hmm.
big person that tries to stay active, whether it be in the gym, running, hiking, trail running, whatever it may be. I
Hmm.
Whenever I'm like overworked, overstressed, all like XYZ, like if I just get outside on a weekend and just like spend time in the woods, disconnect and just like sit around a campfire with some good friends, like that is
Hmm.
like the ultimate reset for me where all the things that I was worrying about during the week, I'm just like reminded of like, okay, those things just did not matter as much as I really
Hmm.
thought they did in the moment. And so
Hmm.
that is like the ultimate, like the outdoors for me is plays a very important part in just keeping me mentally sane because every
Yeah.
weekend I'm always trying to do things outside. I think
Hmm.
sunlight's important. I think touching grass is important, like you said. I think it's like all the above are just great physically, mentally.
Hmm.
You can even throw in spiritually too, depending on what you
Yeah,
believe. So
absolutely. Hmm.
it's all important to me for sure.
What was that hike you went on? If you remember, I know it's been a while.
Yeah, it's so and I was actually going to answer your question about traveling with this answer, but
Hmm.
so I hiked Kilimanjaro in Africa with my family in June.
That's so
Um
dope.
yeah, and so it was like it's a huge mountain, like it gets up to like 19,000 feet. So obviously there's a lot of training involved in that. And so
Hmm.
one of the things I would do was like I live in Salt Lake Valley, but to get to the mountains, it's like there's like one that it's honestly like 5 minutes from my house, the video that I recorded that one on. But
Nice.
um it was so funny. Like I would always go for a hike up there for sunset. And like on this hike, I would just be, and this was when I like first started content. So like my mind is
Hmm.
just like going crazy with like ideas. Like I would just like pull up a camera and just like film something, put it down and
Hmm.
like think through it and then like refilm it. But
Hmm.
um yeah, so that's how like that video ended up like originating. At the time, I think it was like my best performing video, which is pretty funny because it was me just like
Hmm.
just go on a hike. Like your problems don't really matter. But
You said that one
um
performed well?
yeah, it performs really well. And that's when I think that was the start of me saying like, okay, maybe I should maybe start posting some more like raw videos, I guess, because a lot of the stuff like
Hmm.
I'm set up with my camera. I got like the wall behind me and stuff. And there's like
Hmm.
maybe you could call it like value content in a way. But um yeah, that was when I was like, okay, I should just like pull out my phone more and just film random stuff. Cause honestly, I think
Hmm.
people are really into that these days. They just want to see like the raw
100%.
life that you're living. So
Hmm.
um yeah, it taught me something, but as well as like it's always fun to just go on a walk and my mind's always just
Hmm.
going crazy with like
Sure.
different ideas of
Yeah,
content or stuff like that. So
I completely relate.
yeah.
No, one of the things I think is happening with social media right now is that, especially with all this AI stuff that's continuing to grow, that I definitely want to talk about more with you. Um, like I think social media is starting to go towards this, just like give me something authentic, give me something that's like
Hmm.
an actual human to hang on to, and let me just like hear them talk. I think social media is moving towards that a lot, and which really suits like you and I's content because it's just like a
Yeah.
person to person relationship, which I believe kind of the internet should be more of, as opposed to a bunch of brain rot.
Yeah.
Um, do you do you have an opinion on kind of, and this is a very open-ended question.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on kind of how AI is evolving, and as like a someone who deals with software, like how is AI kind of changing your life?
Yeah, for sure. So, um, yeah, like this whole question, this whole topic, like really fires me
Hmm.
up, and in a good way, right? Because, um, I deal with it every single day. Like my
Hmm.
job has exponentially gotten easier because of AI. Like if people don't
Okay.
understand that how effective AI is in coding, like all of the
Hmm.
tedious work is now taken out of my job, and I can focus on just building, which
Hmm.
like as a like the foundation of being an engineer, like you just love building things. And so
Hmm.
without all that like busy work and all that tedious work taken out, like it makes your job a lot more fun. Like it makes it a ton
Hmm.
more fun. And so
Yeah.
um as far as engineering goes, like at first I was like, this is crazy. This like I was totally like bought into the hype. Um
Hmm.
and I think that's sort of what a lot of these companies are trying to do is like just build this
Hmm.
hype because as soon as they build the hype, it's like what we do. Like if you sometimes you'll post kind of like a unhinged video. I don't know if you do it, but I do sometimes. I'm like, I'll just throw
Occasionally,
it out there
yeah.
into the void and just like see what
Yeah.
happens. Like this is kind of crazy. It's like any PR is good PR. For them,
Hmm.
it's like people just the buzz around AI is good for them. And so, I think there was a huge way, like, I mean, it's still happening where there's just so much buzz around AI.
Hmm.
Will it like take over jobs as soon as people think it does? I just don't think so. Even as a software engineer, where people are like, that's the first job that it's going to take is coding.
Hmm.
There's still so much complexity around just building these crazy architectural like systems that AI
Sure.
just like can't really grasp yet. So
Hmm.
will it be there someday? 100%. Like, don't get me wrong. It will 100% replace software engineers someday, but there's
Hmm.
definitely going to be someone overseeing it, someone prompting it. And I really think like, as long as you're using AI day in, day out, or at least learning about
Hmm.
it and like you're curious about
Hmm.
it, like, I think you're preventing yourself from just being replaced in the future. Cause like there needs to be someone prompting it. There needs to be someone overseeing it. And as long as you can interact with it in like a productive way, I think people are still gonna look at you as an asset or look at you as valuable. So
Do you see AI as the new kind of like, yeah, go learn to code? Do you know what I'm talking about? The adage of, yeah, go learn to code.
yeah, yeah, yeah. As in like it could just help you learn to code or
No, but like for instance, I guess, and this might be kind of a niche thing that you might not know. I'm not sure, but
mhm,
like the example of kind of the old craftsman, the like laborer, as those kind of jobs have become less and less people are being, plumbers and wood crafters, all those kind of things. I think a bunch of Zoomers was saying like, go learn to code. That's what you really should be doing. That's kind of the future.
mhm.
So in that aspect, do you see AI being that next step of like technological innovation and kind of where the world is just going in general?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're gonna see so there's sort of two like answers to that, I think. I think learning to code right now, I don't want to say it's like futile by any means, but
Hmm.
I think it's hard to like get a degree in computer science like we all did if you were a software engineer and then like get an entry level job as a software engineer because I think companies are just leaning out like an entry
Hmm.
level engineer. Like, yeah, I think people are gonna, I think these large corporations are still investing in them because there's growth on the other side of being entry level. Like once you're senior and
Hmm.
above that, like there's 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 great like opportunity and there's value to that. But
Hmm.
um I think these newer companies, like they're starting up. There's like I mean, some of them are like 10 employees and they're making like millions of dollars per year in revenue. So I
Absolutely.
almost see like that type of shift where it's like a lot of these corporations that are around right now that have been around for a while, it's like they're not just going to come in and just like replace an HR person, for example. They're just like down the
Sure.
line, they might not hire another one. Like they'll just have the
Mm-hmm.
current HR person just leverage AI and then just hire less
Mm-hmm.
down the road. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
I think these like smaller companies that are starting up, it's like, okay, we only need 5 people. If like we got 5 people doing
Yeah.
engineering, 5 people doing marketing, and like we could just use AI for the rest of the stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, there's
Mm-hmm.
a ton of other things that are required to run a company, but um, yeah, I mean, like that's kind of where I see it heading. Is it is like the next big thing. I hate to say it, like
Mm-hmm.
there's just going to be so much takeover of AI just being integrated in all these things, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's this adoption curve that will slowly start to exponentially rise. I think we're sort of
Mm-hmm.
maybe at the beginning of that, but
For
we'll
sure.
we'll see it progress. Yeah.
Do you think, and this might sound stupid, but do you think Terminator's going to happen? Like, are we just destined for that?
Yeah, so I always like laugh around with friends. It's like might as well just like have fun and like take risks now because I think in like 10
Sure.
years, 20 years we might be like living in a tube and like
Hmm.
just doing like just yeah, everything's like taken care of for us. Which is really I mean that's maybe like if you've ever heard of like Sam Altman talk, that's some of the
For
stuff that he
sure.
says is just like
Yes.
he wants to
Hmm.
take every inconvenience out of human life, which is
Hmm.
great. It's just so foreign to us. And like it
Hmm.
sounds like when I hear that, I'm like, dang, like I don't like I almost don't want that to happen. Like we're all there's like edges to um there's edges to like us learning like being curious and
Hmm.
just like learning quick and like hard work and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And if all of that's just like
Hmm.
out the window, then it's like, okay, what's the point? Like what's the purpose and all that? So
Hmm.
um yeah, I mean, it's hard to balance that. It's like at some point,
For
like
sure.
you have to like believe it probably will happen. Like it's
Hmm.
advanced so much just in the past 4 years. It's like
For
if you
sure.
think about the next 10, like what's going to happen? It's only going to
Hmm.
be exponential. It's kind of
Hmm.
scary to think about a little bit, but
Yeah,
you just
absolutely.
kind of have to like lean into it and accept it
Hmm.
because like you definitely can't control it. So they're going to keep pushing out as much as they can, spending as much as they can on it. So.
So as a software engineer, what types of like do you use different AI models or different websites like ChatGPT or there's a ton of different ones, but do you use any of
Yeah.
those in daily life?
Yeah, 100%. I use ChatGPT like literally every day. I use it for content, I use it for engineering
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I just have conversations with it, just brainstorming either like business ideas, maybe like a content strategy,
Mm-hmm.
things like that because I like every day I wake up and I'm like thinking something different. Like especially with
Mm-hmm.
my account, it's like like still this day, I like still am not 100% on like the direction where I want to take it. And so there's some weeks where I'm like, okay, I'm going to start posting about this. And then the other week I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this. Like, let's just start posting about this.
Very
Um,
relatable.
yeah. So there's always just like this brainstorming aspect in every part of life where it's just nice to bounce ideas off of it.
Hmm.
As far as like actual coding though, it's like I use Cursor a lot, which is like a code generative like code editor, and then
Hmm.
bolt.new, which is like also pretty much the same
I've
thing.
heard of
It's just
that
built
one.
into yeah, just built
Hmm.
into a website. So use those a lot, pretty familiar with them, and again, they make my job just so much easier. It's crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So how'd you originally get into being a software engineer? Like what gravitated you towards that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's actually really funny. I was in college and
Hmm.
I like I graduated from Michigan State, but like my freshman year, I wanted to be like my whole life I like had this like image in my head and I think it was my dad just secretly planning it in my head. It was like, "Oh, like you're going to be a computer engineer, like you're going to be that guy." Um and so when I like went into college, I like started taking the classes, like basic level engineering classes. They're hard compared to a lot of stuff that you've done in high school, as well as like
Hmm.
some of them are just boring. Like you're not into like the nitty gritty, like you're not coding yet, essentially. And
Sure.
so at the time, I was like still in my big creative phase. Like I was a big photographer, big videographer. I wasn't like making money from it, but I saw like I don't know if you're familiar with like Sam Colder or like some of they're like
Uh,
travel videographers that like would just travel the world
I'm
and like
yeah,
make
I might have run
content.
across them, but I don't think I follow them now. I
Yeah,
love that niche. I love that group of people that does all that.
for sure. And so like I think at least yeah, we're the same age. So like I mean in high
Hmm.
school and stuff, like that was when it all popped up. It was like people are traveling, like making money from it and it's like they're seeing the world and like not working a 9 to 5 and
Hmm.
it's like whoa. Um and so at the time I like secretly switched my or I was thinking about switching my major into like film production and then just minoring in engineering. And I told my dad that and he's like, no way. Like there is no chance you're doing that. Like so he actually convinced me to stick with it. And then after I took my first coding class, it like really clicked with me. It was actually really weird. How much I really enjoyed it. And then
Hmm.
it like progressed and progressed and like I just got more and more into it. And I like tell him to this day, it's crazy to think like if he wasn't there pretty much like telling me no, I would have done it and
Hmm.
then my life would have been drastically different. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Because the thing he said was like you can do anything with the engineering degree. Like if you get an engineering degree, you can be the creative guy you want to be like after you get the degree. And yeah, it was just I think about that all the time because it's so wild. I would have like
Yeah.
just
Shout out,
rebelled a little
Dad.
bit. Yeah, shout out dad for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. So
So talk to me about also that's really cool. I'm cool. I'm glad you have that kind of relationship with your dad where that can get pushed on you in a healthy way that has like shaped your life. That's really cool.
yeah, I don't know if it was healthy at the time. Like there's definitely some resentment from me, but I'm
Yeah,
like happy that it happened looking back on it now.
sure.
So yeah.
So you said you have kind of a past of like photography and videography.
Mhm.
Talk to me about kind of how that started and I guess how that's blossomed into what you do now.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it was funny. Like I grew up in a small town in northern Michigan and
Hmm.
like me and my friends, we would just go out and like take pictures. Like we all had a camera and so we would
Hmm.
just go hike hills, go out on the lake and just like everyone would have a camera. So we'd like take pictures of each other was like maybe the primary like focus.
Hmm.
Um and so we were all like pretty into Instagram. Like we were all like posting a lot. We were like into other phases like longboarding, just like random high school
Me
stuff.
too. I did that
Yeah,
when I was
dude, it was
13 or
like
14. Yeah.
yeah, it was a crazy wave when like we were growing up. Um, so we were like into that. So we were like filming that, like taking pictures and stuff. So like high school, that was like I was that was just like my thing. Like everyone was just like, oh, he's got a cool Instagram. Like he takes a lot of
Hmm.
pictures and all this stuff. And again, like I never got paid for it really. Like I did like a couple of random things, um, but have always just like kind of kept that on my hip. And then
Hmm.
yeah, as I like continue to grow older, like it maybe slowed down in college, but I would always like bring out the camera when I went on like trips and stuff. And so I was always like posting and stuff on Instagram and things like that. So I always had this like I don't know if you've been posting on Instagram since you were like in high school and stuff, you kind of know like you just
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
the platform, you understand all the like
Hmm.
the intricacies that like other people just don't.
Hmm.
So that's why it like kind of all came together like this year was just like, okay, I've like done all this stuff. Like I've never really gave it my all. I've never really done it
Hmm.
like consistently. Like why don't I just like bite the bullet and just start doing it? Because I like on my personal account, like last year, I would post talking head videos. So like I was over
Oh,
that
okay.
fear of like putting my face on there. Like I was actually
Yeah.
posting videos about photography tips. It was like how to film a or like how to like shoot better or how to film a video and things like that. And so they never did well, but I was never posting consistently, which I think is a big part of it too. So
Hmm.
um yeah, like I said, I think it all came together like this year where I was like I didn't really have a fear on camera, like a little bit, but like not terribly. And then
Hmm.
I had everything in line where I could like like film and edit videos pretty quick. And yeah, just push out content. So it's like might as well just go
Yeah.
all in for this. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's very similar to the kind of epiphany that I had. I think you're starting a
Yeah.
little bit before me, but yeah. Something I have always wanted to talk about with the guests so far is like I'm so glad we're the same age because like you just mentioned, um, we started Instagram from pretty much the beginning of it. Same thing with like Snapchat and
Yeah.
I guess even TikTok, but really Instagram.
Yeah.
How do you feel about how Instagram has changed over the years, and I guess social media as a whole? Like how has that change of it have affected what you do?
Yeah, I also think this contributed to why I wanted to start too. So I
Hmm.
think there's always been this especially with us, like us growing up, like if someone had, I don't know, like name the number, but just like a good amount of followers, it's like a big deal for our generation. Like for some
Yeah,
reason,
yeah.
there's like a tag that you put on someone that has like 10K followers. You're like, oh, like no way, that's crazy.
Hmm.
Um, and so don't get me wrong, there's always like that aspect of it a little bit, just like I don't know, just
Hmm.
more maybe you could call it like attention, but there's just like more awareness just about you. But I think overall, like the progression of Instagram is really interesting. And I think there's a huge narrative on Instagram and all these social platforms that you've probably heard this before too, but right now, or I guess when it started, it was like you need a lot of followers to get a lot of views. Like that was the big thing.
Hmm.
Whereas now it's like the algorithm's shifting, new
Every
accounts
day.
like yeah, literally every day. New accounts
Hmm.
can post and get like 100K views and blow up literally overnight.
Hmm.
And so there's the guy, like, I think his tag is higher up wellness, where he's like, every day you post is a lottery ticket into a totally different life. And so
Hmm.
I think that sort of had an effect on me this year, where it's like, okay, now you don't need a ton of followers. It's like, I could just maybe make this a habit, make it consistent, and things could happen. Like you see new accounts all the time, like post 10 times and like their 10th video or even their fifth video, like goes crazy. Yeah. And then they're
Hmm.
like, I don't know, like 10 days in and they have like 20K followers and you're over here like day 100, like 400 followers. And it's like, dang, dude, like this is
Yeah,
crazy. It's like,
yeah.
so there's, I mean, there's it. I think that's definitely a huge thing with social media, especially posting every day
Hmm.
too, is the comparison aspect of it too. Like, you just have
Hmm.
to look at these guys and be like, dang, like they did it, and like they did it probably for the right reason because they were
Hmm.
doing something right that I wasn't. But there's always that little voice in your head, like, wow, like, they got it easy, but I don't know.
Hmm.
There's all that stuff you could
But there's also that
go
voice of
input
like,
about.
oh, it could be me next, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. There's like the inspiration to just like keep going because who knows?
Hmm.
Literally your next video. Like I posted one video, it was a freaking meme and
I saw that. I thought that
it
was
like
hilarious.
quadrupled my followers and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
like this is like
Hmm.
yeah, like I like cheered about it a little bit, but it was like I posted all this like good content that I thought was
Yeah.
cool and then like my meme blows up and gets me all
It
these
was
followers.
funny
And I'm
though, to
like,
be fair. It was hilarious.
so, dude, a funny story about that was I actually posted it as a trial reel. And so
Oh, really?
it went crazy as a trial reel. Like it got 30K. And I was showing my roommate the like stats of it. I was like, dude, I've gotten like 20,000 profile visits, like all these likes and all these followers. And I
Hmm.
accidentally hit like share to feed. Like I didn't mean to post that to my
Dude.
followers. And so yeah, that was kind of like after that, I was like, I can't delete this. Like, it's my most viewed video. Like, I'm just gonna like ride
Hmm.
with it. And then at that
Hmm.
point, that was when, because I have like all my friends and family follow me too. So like they see this like
Hmm.
ridiculous picture of me, and I'm like, all right, you just gotta like lean into it at that point.
It is funny when you're scrolling through your profile and it's just like day 99, 90, no, 90, 100, 101. It's just like your face
Me,
straight in the middle of the camera.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was such a random picture, but yeah, I don't know. That was a funny little experiment.
So that's still your best performing video?
Yeah, for sure. I hate to say it, was like, yeah, that meme was like 30K, and then I think like below that, my like top is maybe like 6 or 7K. Um,
Hmm.
so I haven't really had one that's like been a video of like just my face talking, like go crazy by any means.
Hmm.
But I mean, I'm like with the amount of followers I have, like getting 6 or 7K, like totally happy with
It's
that. So
great. It's great. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And I did notice after you posted that meme that kind of blew you up a little bit, like the next six of your videos before you had shoulder surgery, like those all performed better. Did you notice that trend?
Yeah, for sure. I saw like I was definitely like riding this high where I don't know if the algorithm was just like pushing me more for like as a reward of like just doing better. Um but yeah, it was kind of a bummer to see cuz like yeah, you look at like like 6 videos after that, they did really well. One of them was actually like, yeah, my like top viewed video minus the meme, which was like the 6K video. Um,
Hmm.
and then I had shoulder surgery. And then I feel like as soon as I like picked it back up, like I don't know if I was like dinged for like stopping posting for like 2 weeks or something, but I saw
Hmm.
my just like retention, just overall views, like all this stuff, like all these metrics started like really dipping. And I'm honestly like still in that like trough of just like trying to figure out how to get out of it. So I've like
Hmm.
tried to pick up the consistency a little bit,
Hmm.
and just like get back on track. But it's hard to like when you're like doing so well and now like your
Yeah.
videos are getting like 500 views. You're like, oh dang, like
Hmm.
yeah,
Back to normal.
yeah, literally back to
Yeah.
reality. Like here we
Hmm.
go.
Yeah.
So
So talk to me about the 100-day series. Like that, I have a couple questions about it, but talk to me how that started and like what got you going with that specifically.
yeah, for sure. Like I said, I felt like I needed to just announce a number. Like I couldn't say like, oh, I'll just be like posting every day. I wanted to like really nail down a number. And for some reason I like just like randomly picked 100 days.
Hmm.
And was like, all right, I need to just commit to this and really see this through. Like I figured it's like that common Mr. Beast quote too. He's just like, post 100 videos, you'll learn a lot, and then the next 100, like you'll just continue
Yep.
iterating. Yeah, and
Yep.
so I think maybe that implanted that in my mind. But yeah, I just got on this trend of like posting every day. It started out like I started out posting about this software I was building on the side. Um,
Hmm.
and because I was really just trying to hop on like that build in public scene that a lot of people are doing, whether that be tech or really anything. Um, but yeah, I was just trying to do that, was just building in public. I felt like building in public too gave me a lot more to talk about. Like I was doing something on that every day. So like even if I didn't have a random thought to say, I could be like, oh, I did this today on to like try to
Hmm.
build that a little more. Um, and so that was like a software. It's pretty much like a website that you could like kind of like create AI content in a way.
Okay.
The market was really hard. It ended up like
Hmm.
not doing well. So I stopped building that and then kind of transitioned my whole account into more of just like what I'm doing outside of my 9 to 5, like a lot of that like
Sure.
5 to 9 hustle stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Okay. I did notice that, and I think you actually did a video about this, how like your style of content kind of shifts because people don't want to see someone just sitting in front of a camera for, 2 minutes or whatever, 60 seconds. Like there has to be some scene changes, different light, like you have to implement different camera angles and all that kind of stuff. So how have you seen that 100-day kind of challenge evolve with your content?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think as anyone would say, like the more you post, the more you're gonna learn about just what does well and what doesn't. And like
Hmm.
it's not even just looking at metrics of how your videos are doing. I think if you're posting every day, you're also consuming a lot of content. And so
For sure.
you're seeing what works on like other people's pages and stuff. So I think that was honestly where I was learning the most, was just like I was consuming content that was pretty much identical to mine. Um,
Hmm.
and just trying to like learn from it. Like I see a video like someone gets 10K views, I'll just honestly try to like replicate it in my own little spin. Um
Hmm.
and yeah, like I saw there's a lot of different phases that I went through where it was like when I first started my account, I was like, I want to sit in front of the camera and just talk. And then like I don't need all this
Hmm.
like brain rot cuts to like do all this stuff. And if you want to follow me for like my like what I'm saying, they can. And then I went in a
Hmm.
phase of like, okay, I'm getting 200 views. Like I really need to change this. And
Yeah.
so that's why I was like, okay, I'm gonna start focusing on the hook. I'll add different camera angles to like just keep people engaged and maybe like flash some
Hmm.
stuff on the screen. And I really still think that works. But there's
Hmm.
also like to circle back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like I also do think like picking up your phone and like if you're on a walk or just like sitting at a table, like people do appreciate just raw thoughts of you saying stuff. And like you can deliver value even in those settings too. Like I don't need to
Hmm.
always be in front of like a super nice camera with like a mic and lights and stuff. Um
Hmm.
so I think there's been a balance to that, right? Of like trying to play around with different styles of content, there's also like if you're trying to be consistent, like you just need to find what works for you. And like some
Hmm.
days I just don't have the time to like sit in front of a camera and spend all this time editing. Like I need to just like
Hmm.
run and gun, do it on my phone and just post the video. So uh yeah, I think there's a lot of different variables with that, but it was honestly just trial and error. I was like just consuming a lot of content, seeing what worked, and then trying to do it myself. So
Do you find that consistency beats quality, or is it the other way around?
oh man, this is a huge debate that I always have with myself. Because right, like I was posting for it was like 120 days, and then
Yeah.
I went on a couple trips, got the surgery, and so like now I'm not quite posting every day. I'm like still
Hmm.
posting, still probably like 5 times a week, but
Hmm.
that's like it's a tough debate for me because I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying. It's like you can put in work to really create a video that's like chopped up, it's edited really well, like there's a lot of those aspects that you're doing solely for attention rather than like
Sure.
you're not doing it to like portray more value and things like that.
Hmm.
So I don't know. There's like I honestly like don't even know. I'd be curious like your opinion on this too. Like I
Hmm.
honestly don't know the answer to that yet, and I think I'm just like balancing posting enough to where like I can keep consistency and then
Hmm.
still deliver like maybe like one or two like pretty quality videos a week, but then like maybe
Yeah.
other videos are just like thoughts and value.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think because this is like a huge debate I always have.
Yeah. I feel like we could probably sit here and talk about the algorithm for like an hour and a
Yeah,
half.
yeah,
Um, I find that it's like consistent quality. It's like it doesn't necessarily have to be every single day. My schedule currently, and for I guess the last maybe 6 to 8 weeks, has been I post uh, really Monday through Saturday, and then I take Sunday off. Like Sunday, I mean, I'm a Christian. It's kind of like my rest day, but that's
yeah.
a rest and recoup and um, like really catch back up and make sure I'm ahead of stuff and planning out the rest of the week. And I just find that like you have to, in my eyes, you kind of have to meet a certain threshold of what your consumers and what your followers expect, while also staying that kind of level-headed consistency.
Mhm,
And it's tough because there's a lot. It's really tough because there's a lot of people that post just crazy content that doesn't really give a ton of value, but just gives more so like that brain rot, and it just
mhm.
blows up. And you
Yeah,
get a little pissed. You're like, "What? Why does that work?" But then what I'm sitting here and doing is thinking I'm providing people with all this value and awesome conversations and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a hard mix, really. But I would say recently the biggest thing that has helped me to just accumulate either views or keep retention is to make videos that are very shareable. And I see that
yeah,
being the consistent thing that'll probably go in the future because if your content's being shared by a bunch of people, then it's not really the algorithm doing it. It's more of your audience doing it. So to me it feels much more organic. But then once it's organic, then the algorithm will kind of go, oh yeah, this is kind of worth sharing. Let's keep it going. I
yeah.
I think that's probably what I'm going for the most right now. Something that's very
Mhm.
shareable that will continue getting pushed.
Yeah, that's a good I like that like perspective because yeah, if your audience is sharing it, that's just that spider web will just continue to just branch out,
Hmm.
and then yeah, I've definitely heard that before too. Is like the shares, the saves, some of those like
Hmm.
metrics that sometimes aren't on the front of your mind. Like, do you definitely
Sure.
contribute to a lot of that like growth or just view count in general?
Yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it. The guy I was
Hmm.
talking about before that is pretty big on social media. He's like 400K on TikTok and Instagram and about 200 or 300 on YouTube. And he was just
Dang.
telling me like I really don't care about followers. Like it
Yeah.
does not make a difference to me. Which, it's a little bit easier to say when you have a
Yeah.
million people that follow you on everything.
I was gonna say
Um,
yeah.
but apparently, that's not the metric that is the most important. It is, like view retention, like we mentioned, shares. If people are engaging and commenting on it, it seems like these algorithms are just a giant snowball of those things. And once you get one, it kind of just goes down the hill and turns into an avalanche.
Yeah. 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 Definitely agree. And I guess going back to the meme post that I had, that was the one thing that I was worried about was like I was getting all these followers from like this meme. So like even though my follower
Yeah.
count went up, it's like is are
Hmm.
these followers pretty much like bots? Like are they gonna
Hmm.
like start liking
Yeah.
my content that's not even related to it?
Hmm.
And maybe that's sort of like what I'm seeing now is like I was riding this like
Hmm.
high of it a little bit and then it started to like dip back to just normal levels, back to like before I had that video
Hmm.
pop off and had additional
Sure.
followers. So yeah, I mean there's definitely quality quality, I guess like engagement over just raw follower count for sure.
Hmm. Hmm. One of your videos that really stuck out to me, I think I don't believe I wrote it down here, but it was yeah, I did actually. It was day 106. And you talked about having this feeling that there's kind of always something that you could do or like something that could be done
Yeah.
to to strive towards your goals. And
Yeah.
that really resonated with me because that's kind of my schedule is I work all day. I spend an hour with like the people that I love, and then it's like, okay, I got to get this, this, and this done. Like there's always something that could be done, and if I don't get it done, I suck.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also struggle with that a lot. So I was just curious if you want to expand on that perspective a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that I don't know if it's like not necessarily healthy. It's
I don't
something
think it
that
is.
yeah, it's I and like I don't know. I ask myself this all the time. It's like I hate I hate feeling that like desire instinct where it's like I just want to get to like X and then like cuz I
Mm.
know once I get to X, I'm just going to want to get to Y. And so there's
Yeah.
like always that and it's like you can recognize that, but like you're still like my day in my day out is like I can't watch Netflix. I can't sit on my phone. I can't hang out with
Yeah.
friends. It's like I need to be grinding all the time and like I
Hmm.
don't know if it's like the grind culture and like me just consuming content and like it's just embedded in my head at this point or what, but um
Hmm.
I guess it's worth mentioning too. Like, I think my end goal really is to be able to support myself by like the things that I love doing. So the businesses that I
Hmm.
spin up, the side gigs, like ideally I can make enough money to just do all that stuff for fun. Cause I would
Hmm.
really love waking up every day. Not that I like don't now, but it's like that's like my end goal.
Hmm.
And so I don't want to say anything, but I think it might be coming soon. And it'll be interesting to see my perspective change at that point, where like, okay,
Hmm.
I've been striving for this for the past like 2 years. It feels
Hmm.
like I need to always be going, going, going because time's ticking, time's running out. It's like we said, we're like 26, 27, like things are just going to pick up.
Yeah.
And because like that's really my motivator is like I just want to like figure all this like work stuff out first and then like down the
Hmm.
road hopefully things will be easier and like who knows if they are but the
Yeah.
regret of not trying will bug me for life. So here I am
Yeah.
just going crazy. So yeah,
Hmm.
who knows it'll actually be interesting if I don't know we check in like in 6 months if like things are different but I don't know. I honestly think too it's like it's embedded in a lot of people where it's like
Sure.
you just always are wanting to do more, wanting to like,
Hmm.
and again, who knows if that's healthy? Like you can definitely make it healthy, but you can
Hmm.
also make it very unhealthy because you're gonna like
Absolutely.
isolate yourself. And so I honestly like what you said. It's like you do your job and then you have like an
Hmm.
hour spending with like people that you love because I know I could for sure maybe try to fit in a couple more hours doing that. Um,
Sure.
and then after that, it's like, okay, back to doing
Yeah.
what I need to do. So that's a cool balance.
Thank you. I think also part of it is kind of realizing that I guess it's just like fighting that perfectionism of it, like feeling like I have to always get this done, and if I don't get it done at this time, then it's off the rails and going crazy, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. There's an aspect of like there always needs to be like there's always something that needs to be done. So like if you're
Mhm.
like constantly realizing that too, I think it like kind of helps of like your mind can be just going crazy with stuff to do, but maybe you do need to just like step away and just like like you have more time to just do it. There's always going to be more stuff. The
Mhm.
problem for me is like I love attacking things when I have the energy and like I'm like super dialed into doing it.
Yeah, you're
And
already
I
in it, you know?
yeah, it's like and I feel like lately I've been like just very in those moods where it's like I get off my job and then it's like I'm working like 5 to 12 just on things that, and it's not like I'm like killing myself or anything. It's just like I
Hmm.
just genuinely
It's what
love
you
what I,
want.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It is what I want. And then the time flies by and you're like, oh, dang, it's 12. Like I should
Hmm.
probably go to bed because I got to wake up for like my job tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, there's balance is like so key. And like, I always love hearing what other people are doing to make that
Hmm.
happen because I think it's a problem. Like it's so relatable to like so many people.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, and I'm happy you pointed that out too. So
Yeah. I feel like there's in our generation, there's basically Gen Z kind of goes two ways. I think like half of Gen Z is really struggling to find any consistency and gain like wealth and status in society. But then there's this other half that is just willing to grind and figure it out. And like I want to be the one to like create change and do something that I'm proud of, all those
yeah,
kind of things. And I don't want to like sulk all the time. I want to create something that's going to last for a long time and be a part of something special.
yeah,
And, at 26 now, like it kind of feels like you were mentioning like that time to like get going, figure it out.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and I also think another reason why I want to come home and like just grind it out is because I spent, my early 20s partying it away. And then now
yeah,
the fact that I partied it away, it's like, okay, I had my fun. Now it's let me build a family, let me build a career, let me build a life that I'm really proud of. So I think it's kind of balancing those two sides of me, you know?
yeah. I think totally like I could not agree more to that, and it's very relatable because yeah, I mean, like I said, when I was living in Chicago, I was like, I was not focused on work. I was focused on just having fun. And like, again,
Yeah.
it's great. Like, I don't regret it at all.
Hmm.
But um, I think there's just a time where, and maybe it just comes with like, there's just like levels of your 20s where you sort of like get out of that phase and you have all these
Hmm.
realizations of like, all right, here we go. And I think there's an aspect of you've been working in maybe corporate America, you're 9 to 5 for a little bit, and
Hmm.
you start to get that itch to just like do more a little bit too. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so going back to what you said about half, like half and half of like it being split. Um,
Yeah.
because I see this all the time. I have friends that are very into like what I'm doing, but I also like don't. And
Hmm.
to me, it's like crazy. Like it's crazy to not be just going all in and
Yeah.
stuff because it's like we
Like, what
live
are
in
you
a time
doing?
where
Like,
like yeah, like
yeah.
AI is going crazy, like the internet. It's like the
Hmm.
easiest time for people to like really make a name for themselves, or I guess like
Hmm.
easiest.
Hmm.
But yeah, I just find like because there's always this other side of the argument where it's just there's so many distractions out there now. It's like phone, like
Yeah.
Netflix, and even like I posting on social media every day. It's like I still like have to like literally like I downloaded this app called Opal that like will literally
Hmm.
lock me out of Instagram like from 6 a.m. to like 2 p.m. and I like can't go on it because I
Hmm.
especially when you're posting every day, it's like you roll out of bed and like you just start looking at, oh, I got like
Yep.
X views, I got X likes, and
Hmm.
it can get so unhealthy so quick just consuming all that.
100%.
So there's that huge balance too, where try not to like waste time, and I
Hmm.
mean it all goes back to yeah, just not wasting time, just trying to get going. So
Yeah. Where do you see your content heading in the future? How's it gonna evolve?
um yeah, like I think like I said, I always have sights on this like end goal of working for myself, working on like
Hmm.
businesses that I love doing. And so ideally if that does come at some point, it would be great to like document that whole process of like, okay, now I'm not
Yeah.
working a 9 to 5. Like now I'm literally taking, I mean, the biggest risk in my life.
Hmm.
And like here are my income streams as well. I don't know if I'm at the point where I feel comfortable like I think a lot of people are like building in public and like telling people how much they make, like XYZ.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm like at that point yet, but
Yeah.
I'll at least like lay out everything that I'm doing to at
Hmm.
least support myself. And then hopefully that'll resonate with people because I think I mean, the big trend, right, is like everyone's trying to like escape the 9 to 5. And like I think
Yep.
don't get me wrong, I think 9 to 5s play a very important part in society and I think they're great. Like I think you can love a 9 to 5 and live a great life. But
Hmm.
for me, I just don't know if it's the end goal. And so
Sure.
just putting that into content, like that whole idea and that whole process of trying to get out of it is like kind of what I'm doing now. And I think, or at least I hope, once maybe I transition out of that into like, okay, now it's not like a 5 to 9, like I'm really
Hmm.
just doing this full time of like just trying to make it. um,
Yeah.
and so that's, yeah, ideally, like I said, there's so many things that have to go right for that to happen because it's, like I said, a
Hmm.
huge risk. But um, I think I'm headed in the right direction. And so
Absolutely.
I have sights on just what I want to do with content, how I want to like
Hmm.
just express that whole
Hmm.
process. And hopefully it'll be relatable, but you never know.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. You never
Yeah.
know. Who knows what you could post tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually curious to
So,
ask you that question too, because
uh,
I always like to hear what people like just where they're headed. Like if they're gonna like
yeah.
shift things like crazy, or if they're just gonna stay consistent, keep doing it.
Well, thanks for asking. Yeah, I have really big plans for passion projects.
Yeah.
I don't know if you kind of, I'm sure you haven't seen it, but I'm also a musician, right? I make music. I write and produce and record all my stuff, guitars, vocals, all that kind of stuff. I use my Mac and Logic and all that. So I
Cool.
come from an artistry kind of background in that way. And what I really want to do, and honestly, I could probably use your help for this, is to build a community where artists can share their work, their thoughts, their workflow, how they do things, what has gotten them to where they are today, on top of the podcast, whether that is like a website or a Discord community or a school community
Hmm.
or just the podcast itself. I I want to have a website with with merch, and I want to have people that are artists that can have their own designs on the website and then be able to sell their own designs through the merch. I think that's a really cool idea. I'm excited to implement in the future.
Cool. Yeah.
And then they get a percentage of the profit. I would love to make an app that's like kind of a social media app where artists, like I mentioned, can share what they're doing and in a different way than maybe Instagram or TikTok or Facebook is. I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how it's going to play out, but in my head, I see it being just a hub for creative and artistic people to express themselves and show their work specifically.
Hmm.
So that's kind of where I see all this going, while also continuing the podcast itself and just talking to creatives and artists, no matter who you are, posting daily content. But that's the
Yeah.
long term goal for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Does that sound
Like,
crazy?
no, 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 it doesn't. And like I can sense your excitement. So that's why like it kind of
Uh-huh.
fires me up about just like I can tell you're motivated to do it and excited about it. So
Hmm.
um yeah, I mean I don't doubt it at all. It's cool what you got going now. So I'm sure
Thank
it'll
you.
just continue to grow and then yeah,
Mm.
you can I actually do like the idea of that that hub for creatives, musicians and things because I don't know if you're familiar with like Strava. It's like a
Oh, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, I was a
I
cross
mean,
country and track runner in high school and college.
oh yeah.
I know Strava.
Yeah. And so like I always hear people say like, oh, there's like no there's not gonna be like other social medias and stuff. And I think Strava is a really good example of like just a niche like social
Yeah.
media in a way that is different from Instagram. Yeah, people could be
Hmm.
doing everything that they're doing on Strava on Instagram, but there's
Yeah.
just a different place and time for it. And I almost see that
Hmm.
as like what you just said, it kind of reminded me of that. It's just like a niche spot where if people don't want to post on to like Facebook or Instagram their
Yeah.
music or them singing, like
Wow.
there's maybe like a safer spot for
Hmm.
musicians, artists and things like that to post there. So that's yeah, I like that.
Hey, and if you know how to make apps, right? Like, you know how to do that kind of
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Just saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that'd be really cool. No.
Yeah,
So, the last thank you for asking that. That was cool.
yeah.
Um, the last question I have for you, and this is something I've asked every single one of my guests so far,
Okay.
is what is the single biggest piece of advice you could give to someone that is just becoming an adult, maybe like that 18, 19, 20 age range, just entering society for the first time in that adult role?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Um, Yeah, I think maybe we covered this a little bit before, but I think like learning like you're just not gonna have everything figured out right off the bat, right? This is like what everyone
Hmm.
says is like you think you have everything figured out, but like you have no clue like where your life's gonna
Yeah.
go or like what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
And so I'm a big proponent of like I've always been an engineer, but I'm always like I got my
Hmm.
hands in like all these other things too. I'm like in the creative aspect, learning just other parts of like business, marketing, all that stuff. And I think just overall being curious about like the whole process of it because
Hmm.
especially if you're someone that wants to like own a business, um or even just be like a very valuable asset in any maybe like you can't really do this in a big company because roles are very divided, but I would say a small company it's like everything that you learn in your 20s is just going to come full circle at some point. And so like if you're
Hmm.
constantly staying curious about like things that you want to learn that relate to the general theme of like where you're headed. And like sometimes
Hmm.
I go off on crazy tangents, right? Like I start
Hmm.
learning just random stuff that I'm like, this is never gonna help me down the road. But then like one day it comes up and I'm like, oh, I did that like 3 years ago. And now
Hmm.
it like kind of comes full circle and it's been helping me out. So I think people in their early 20s or people that are starting out in just their career, their life should be chasing shiny objects, should be chasing all this stuff, like all this like curiosity side projects because when you're starting out, like you can't really focus on one thing. I mean, you can because like everyone really does it, but
Yeah.
I have just seen the benefit of me chasing all these shiny objects. Yeah, I've failed so many times, but I'm confident that all the like lessons that I've learned from failing things will come full circle at some point. And
Hmm.
really, I'm like seeing that happen now, and like that's why I've kind of had this realization and stuff. And I'm like I've been making content about this too because I think it's important to share because a lot of people are like, oh, don't go like chasing money or like chasing these random business ideas, which in a sense, like you really shouldn't be doing anything for just sole money. But
Hmm.
um, if you're learning a skill in the process, like sometimes that in itself can be useful. So
Hmm.
um, yeah, I honestly don't even know if that answers your question, but that's my
No, it
long-winded
definitely
way
does.
to yeah, that's my
It definitely
long-winded way
does.
to say yeah, just stay curious, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think you kind of, I think everyone has to learn in their own way that you can't be an expert at everything. And the
Yeah,
only way that you can learn you can't be an expert in everything is by trying a lot of things and then
yeah,
eventually narrowing it down into a funnel of like, oh, these are the four things that I really love. I'm gonna like actually pursue them. And that's your
yeah,
20s.
yeah. Literally, it's just like
Yeah.
figuring stuff out, and then yeah, just doing random stuff, just trying a bunch of things. And then
Hmm.
ideally as yeah, you mature and you hit your 30s and you've tried all these things, so you sort of know what better you want to do and you're not in this like lost space of shoot, I've been doing
Yeah.
this one thing for 6 years, like now I don't like it. What do I do? Like
Hmm.
so yeah,
Awesome. No, I think that definitely answered it.
yeah, cool.
Dude, this has been really fun.
Yeah,
That's all I got for you.
yeah,
I really
cool.
enjoy this. No, we definitely need to like we definitely need to stay in touch. And I was kidding, but also not really kidding about the whole app thing. If you're ever interested in that, like
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
need help in the future. And you seem pretty sweet, so I'd love to work with you on something eventually.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate you having me on and again, love what you're
Oh,
doing too. It's cool. It's cool to
thank
watch
you.
and see and just consume the content too. So we'll definitely have to stay in touch.
Oh, yes, sir.